Hey everybody, Blaine here, aka the Plaid Lad. This morning, it's a crisp fall September morning. It's about 43 degrees, and I'm excited about that. Been looking forward to some cooler weather. But today, we are going to talk about day hikes, and as much as backpacking is my favorite thing to do, I think day hikes are way more valuable to make you a better backpacker. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you guys why I think that day hikes are super underrated and how valuable they really are. So if you like content about hiking, backpacking, day hiking, general outdoorsiness, please stay tuned, and hope you enjoy. So right now, I am at my absolute favorite place to go day hiking. I'm at Bald Mountain State Park here in southeast Michigan. I like it because it has probably the best elevation you can get in southeast Michigan that I have encountered so far. And it's about 30-40 minutes from my house, so not too bad. It's definitely worth. I come out here probably 2 to 4 times a month. But before I started day hiking, I had no idea this place even existed. So that brings me to my first point for this video, is it really helps you expand your world when you start day hiking, because you start looking for trails around you that you didn't even know were there. It makes you go places even in your area you might not have gone. Before I started hiking, I was a pretty big couch potato and didn't really leave the house all that much. But since I've started hiking about 2 years ago, I have found so many awesome parks around my house. This is a state recreation area. There is a county park about 15 minutes from my house. There's another county park that's about 20 minutes from my house that I had heard about my whole life but had never been to. So it really makes you explore, and you see the place where you live in a completely different light, because I am convinced, Michigan is an absolutely beautiful state, but I live in the absolutely ugliest part of that state. But through exploring, I have found my little pocket oases. Is that the proper plural for oasis? I'm gonna have to Google that. But anyway, there's beautiful places like this that I would have never known about if I hadn't started wanting to find new places to hike, because I'm the kind of person where, I have my staple places for sure, but I need variety. There are some places I won't go to for a month or two, so that way it feels fresh when I oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. There's places I would never even dreamed existed that are less than an hour from my house, and it makes it worth getting up off that couch. Okay, so speaking of getting up off the couch, Another great reason to do day hikes is it keeps you in trail shape and it just gets you in shape. Since I started hiking and backpacking 2 years ago, I've lost 80 pounds. Literally all I did was get off the couch, and I eat less cake. I still eat cake, but a little less of it, you know? Only have one piece instead of 4. It's a miracle what cutting back on cake and stepping out your door can do for you. So the next point I really want to make is day hikes are a great way to really dial in your layering system. Now in the summer, you know, you're not really wearing a ton of layers. You know, in my pack here, I'll probably bring an extra mid layer, a wind shirt, rain jacket. That's about it. And I always bring the extra mid layer, but I never really use it. However, like I said earlier, it's fall now. So now you got to start thinking about colder temperatures a bit. You know, as weather gets colder, and I'll probably make a video on this, you want to bring a few more layers as it gets a little bit colder. Now in the winter time, that if you're gonna get into winter hiking, winter backpacking, day hikes are, I can't even stress how vital day hikes are to dial in your layering system. Because in the winter time, you want to be warm, but you don't want to sweat, because your sweat will freeze and it will make you colder, and you can get in a really dangerous situation really quick. So figuring out how you want to do your base layer, which base layer works best for you. You know, you can find a ton of cheaper ones on Amazon, or you can get some higher end ones, you know, your smart wools and things like that. But you can figure out what you like. You know, some people prefer hiking in wool, some people prefer hiking in synthetics. I prefer hiking in synthetics. I like wool at camp, but that's just me. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but the more you play around with it, the more you can get dialed in and find what works for you. So I think day hikes are super invaluable in getting your, especially for the winter time, your layering system down pat as far as for when you're hiking. Well, speaking of layers, it finally started to warm up a little bit here. Or maybe I'm just moving so much. That could be it too, but it feels nice and warm, so stowed it right there. New fleece I'm trying out. Probably will be a review or a comparison video or two down the road, so if you're into that sort of deal, just keep clicking on this channel. But another great thing for day hikes is you can test out a lot of your backpacking gear. I think the most valuable thing is testing out, how you pack things in your pack and how it feels in your bag. If you're using like a big box brand, you know, your Osprey, your Gregory, things like that, especially if it has like one of those trampoline suspension systems, it's probably not as big of a deal. But since I switched to these ultralight style X-Pack, Eco-Pack kind of packs, I've had to pay a lot closer attention to how I pack my bag. So I will do a day hike with my full backpacking kit loaded out, and I will change around how I pack my pack to see what feels most comfortable for me in whatever pack I'm using. And that has saved me so much heartache on the trail, and or should I say backache. One thing I found recently is with my Superior Wilderness Designs pack, if I put my food bag vertical instead of horizontal, my shoulders feel so much better. I'm kind of embarrassed it's taken me that long to figure that out, but now that I have, it's completely changed my perspective on that pack. Like, I absolutely love that thing. That thing is a powerhouse. So that's just one example there, but I have also brought out hammock and tarp setups and practice setting them up, taking them down. Cook kits, you can test those out really easy too on the trail, and it's actually really nice if you're on a longer day hike to stop and make yourself a warm beverage. So that's an opportunity that a lot of people don't take, especially like if you live in like an apartment or something, you don't have a backyard or a space where you can really practice that. It's a really nice thing to come out to a park, recreation area, whatever, and fiddle around with your setup. It's also really good to figure out how your gear handles certain conditions, like rain, snow, things like that. See how your rain jacket really holds up before you go out on trail. You know, wait for a good rainy day when it's supposed to downpour. Do a short little day hike with your rain jacket you intend to take out. If you want to see how waterproof your pack really is, that's a good opportunity to test it out, because it's much better when you're only a couple miles from the car to have something soak through than when you're 2 days into a trip and still have 2 days to go. So the final reason I think that day hikes are super valuable and make you a better day hiker is it helps you get the stress out in your day-to-day life. As much as we'd all love to be on trail full time, it's just not in the cards for most of us, and even through hikes eventually have to come to an end. So whenever I have a super stressful day, I have a very high stress job. I'm in veterinary medicine, and before you ask, no, I will not give you veterinary advice. Ask your veterinarian. Don't ask strangers on the internet. Not losing my license for you. Capiche? Anywho, high stress job. We actually have the highest substance abuse and suicide rates in the country. Having been in the field for a little over 5 or 6 years, something like that now, I find it more important than ever, for that reason, to find something that makes you happy. And for me, that's being out in the woods. So whenever I have a super stressful day at work, usually the first thing I do on my first day off, or even if I have a couple hours at the end of the day, is just go on a day hike. It mellows you out, de-stresses. Especially, I love evening day hikes or morning day hikes, because there's not a ton of other people out there, And even in the winter, you pretty much have those trails almost to yourself, unless it's like a weekend or something. And it's gotten me through some really tough times. So I can't stress enough, if hiking, backpacking is something that makes you really happy, make sure you make the time to do it. It's very important, not only for your physical health, but for your mental health as well. Again, I can't stress it enough. This is my happy place. Very rarely do I enter the woods and leave in a worse mood than when I came in. And I'd say probably 99.9999999999999% of the time, I leave in a better mood than when I came in. Okay, I think that's going to call it for this video. I hope I was able to convince some people the value of day hikes and how they can make you a better backpacker. Until next time, thank you all very much for watching. And if you like content like this, I hope to see you all again. You guys just have a stupendous day.